welcome to another Austin Action Fest podcast interview session going live today. Today, Benjamin, Keisha, Chill, and Danielle have a special guest, producer, filmmaker, director extraordinaire, horror fanatic himself, the infamous William Instone. Yeah.
Hello, hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, we got to get like a crowd effect.
Yeah, we do. We need some effects. Now, I'm
I
gonna
didn't-
look for some effects right now.
Yeah,
I'm
like
used to hearing booze more than that.
Well, you're not gonna get booze from us.
Anyway, so
you haven't made it unless you have haters, right?
well, yeah, absolutely. That's what they say. That's what they say. So thank you so much for attending and being with us here today. Chill and Keisha and Danielle and Benjamin are very excited. And let's get right into it. We all kind of
Cool.
know each other. So you know what? Will, tell us a little bit about yourself. Let the people at home know who you are and why you are amazing.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, my name's William Instone. I am a artist, I should say. It kind of sounds kind of snobbish to say that, but that's pretty much what I am. I filmmaking, special effects makeup, music, drawing, writing. Pretty much all my life I've been into the arts. I've been doing films since about 2007. I started off as an actor. Well, at least a wannabe actor doing background work. And
Start somewhere.
yeah, I was getting a lot of roles, but you know, they kind of plateaued out, became few and far between, and so I decided I was going to make my own damn movie. So in 2009, I set out to make my first feature film, and after about 3 years, I was finally able to get it finished. And I never went to film school. I never did a short film. I never did anything. The first thing I did was a feature film.
Wow.
And
Right.
yeah, and it turned out not really being absolutely horrible. I mean, I can't watch it anymore because I edited it for 3 years, and I do only see the mistakes, which is common with you know, filmmakers and artists of any type. They see the negative in their work, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But I've got some pretty positive feedback from it. It was a film called John. It was basically a serial killer movie about a guy that's schizophrenic and has a imaginary friend that entices him to go out and do horrible things to people that only he can see and hear. And yeah, it was an all right story. I made it for $4,000. Had a running time of about 2.5 hours when I first cut it together, and I finally got it down to about 1 hour and 45 because film festivals wouldn't accept me. So yeah, I started doing films, and you know, after that first feature, you know, I made a lot of mistakes. Like I said, more of them being not getting proper documents signed, you know, crossing the T's, dotting the I's. So the film can never be released, but I can sell it at conventions and things like that when I decide to get it printed up.
Okay.
But I can't release it. So, I mean, that's, if you're going to take something away from this, make sure you have somebody doing your release forms, because that was a big, big mistake that I made early on. So don't make that one. Don't repeat that.
Got it. Got it. I mean, that's got to be interesting though. Your first project was a feature film. How did you not be terrible? Because either you're a savant or you had some really good help. So
yeah. Well, I mean, one of the things is, well, I had a 3-person crew. So, you know, it was, I had a DP, cinematographer, gaffer, whatever, basically did like 7 jobs. It was one guy. But he had done 30 years in the business, you know, working in the news. I think it's CBS or ABC or one of those. He actually had like a Grammy or some shit like that. Whatever they give out to. He went over there to Beirut, and he did a bunch of shit like that. So
wow.
You got an Emmy.
Yeah, that's possibly it. Are you on my IMDb checking at him? Whatever. I don't know what he got, but he got something. So he knew what he was doing, and I learned a lot from him, you know. So that's what really I gotta say, I gotta give him credit. If I didn't have him, I probably wouldn't even finish the film. And he taught me a lot about
Awesome.
cameras and just how it works, you know. And when I did learn something we had talked about before, is that most people who start a project don't finish it. It doesn't get finished. And so that was the main thing, is he was just like, you know, don't worry about it. Let's just finish the movie, you know. And we got to have a screening at the Alamo Draft House. I got sat a sold out venue, so I could see my very first film on the big screen at the Alamo Draft House to a sold out audience, and it was probably one of the coolest experiences of my life. I was embarrassed sometimes, you know, the first time I played it, because I was like, oh God, are people going to hate it? You know, nervous, but I mean, I got a good reaction. And after that, it kind of gave me the confidence to know that I'm not terrible at this. So I guess I'm going to make another one. And I've been doing it ever since.
No, that's awesome, man. And actually, I mean, that's a pretty high bar for the first project.
Yeah, that's what everyone says. You know, it's, you know, film school by doing, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the first feature film, you know, I'm thankful that it brought me into that, you know, Ballistic Blade did. All I will say is that when I watched it, I saw that I had a tremendous amount of room for improvement. We got pulled into that because the other teams kind of fell out. So I even knew we weren't picked because we were the best. I was picked because like I was available and I was already like in the film. So if I didn't do it, the film wouldn't happen. So
Right.
they kind of just got me. And I was, you know, still thankful, and it was still a really good learning experience. We did the best we could, but man, that it was, and it actually screened at, I think it was Flick's Brew House, if I'm not mistaken. It might have been Flick's Brew House, but like we didn't win any awards or any festivals or anything like that. It wasn't one of those deals. So
Right.
but awesome, congratulations.
So
So
I never won an award with my first one. It got to a lot of film festivals, but I mean, it never won anything really.
cool, but even
so,
getting in, that's a
yeah.
level of validation, right? Like, wow, it's not
Yeah.
so bad that they won't play it.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, it was cool. I mean, I remember going to my first film festival. It was a very, very humbling experience, because there was a lot of like big budget films.
Really?
Yeah.
Which one was your first?
It was first one I attended was called Horrific Film Festival in San Antonio, and they weren't like up for rewards, but they had like a couple of films that already had distribution, and I didn't know that at the time, so I thought my film was up against them, and they had to have been $100,000 to $500,000 budgets. And some of these, there was like an action film, I don't remember the name of it. They had like ninjas and samurai warriors and all kinds of crazy stuff going on, and really badass stunts and effects. And I'm like, damn, I'm not winning this. But then it also, you know, no offense to anyone else, I hate to sound like a dick, but you watch other films that get in there and you're kind of like, okay, that was not good. You know, you got to be honest, you know, that's one thing about, like you said, I mean, a lot of them might have been someone's first film, you know, and it's grateful that there are film festivals out there that do give people a chance to be seen. Exactly. And maybe not picking it because it was overall the best movie, but maybe it was just the kind of film that they wanted to have represented, to have a diversity in film, you know, so.
Yeah, and that's cool. And I mean,
Yeah.
Obviously we have a festival, so even myself, sometimes I find myself wanting a film to be in because it's different than the other movies are.
Yeah.
Not necessarily it's the best shot or has the best action, but maybe, wow, you know, I haven't seen anybody have a fight scene on a spaceship this year. This might be a good, you know, good mix. Wow, we have nothing but dudes fighting on screen. This one has girls in it. Okay.
That one, right. That's kind of what I assumed was, I mean, I don't run a festival or anything like that, but I kind of assume that's probably why a lot of the films that I see at festivals are picked, just because they are different, you know?
Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
It definitely plays a part. And I mean, honestly, we're still, like, I had to go to other festivals and watch how people made their selections to try to figure out, like what is the industry standard for this? Because we just picked the stuff that we liked originally, and then we kind of got a little more sophisticated as the years went by. But yeah, it's definitely there's levels to that game as well that I'm learning as I read and as I submit to more festivals. Just want to toot my own horn for a minute, point this out. I have become officially an award-winning filmmaker.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
But that's your applause track.
Oh, the applause. Hold those. Let me continue. Thank you very much. I know my mom's looking down. She's very proud of the boy. Because it's actually kind of fun because it's something I directed, and it's just a music video. But it's something I wrote, directed, edited, like shot half of the stuff I wasn't in. And so it was really cool. And what was really surprising to me is that normally I'm like, I don't care about stuff. Until paychecks hit the bank account, I don't care, right? I don't get excited. My wife gets mad because she was like, I'm like, yeah, honey, I got selected to be in this thing. She's like, are you excited though? Like you said it, but are you excited though? And I'm like, I mean, it's cool. and so what was cool about this one, because it was the Cap City Black Film Festival, I was like, well, there's a white dude in the video. I don't know if we're even going to get in. So I was like, I don't know how this works. But I submitted, right? And originally I thought I got rejected. And I was like, oh, it's whatever. That sucks, but cool. Then I found that I was
He froze up.
He froze up. All right. Well.
But I think where he was gonna take things, William, is so he does a lot of things on his projects and things like that. And we noticed when we looked at your IMDb and things and read up about you some that you do a lot on your projects. What all do you do on your projects other than just writing and editing? What else do you do?
Name it. Pretty much have done every job there is to do on it. But I mean, I usually try to get someone to take, the pressure off of me. I usually have a partner that I work with who usually both of us either work camera or, one of us is doing the camera, one of us is doing sound or something like that. Thankfully in Butcher's Bluff, I actually had a crew. It was small, but still I had that big weight taken off of me. So I didn't have to do any of that stuff. And that was actually a really enjoyable experience. So I really don't want to go back to doing everything. There's a reason. There's a reason there's departments, and it was a way less stressful. And like I said, I don't ever want to go back to doing that again. But some of my early stuff, it was after my film John. Again, it was a 3-person crew. We did some short films after that. It was probably, I'm averaging, between myself, maybe 2 to 3 other people that do everything. So this time around for Butcher's Bluff, I think we had a crew of about 6 or 7. So still small.
Wow, it's growing. Okay.
Yeah.
So basically what I heard out of that is that William Instone is now stuck up and thinks he's too good to shoot with a compressed crew. Good to know. I'm sorry.
Not that I'm too stuck up. It's just hard. I don't want to do it.
William, hold up.
Sir.
Let's get this. And I can say this. How old are you?
You see these?
I see them.
Santa Claus.
And if I didn't, okay, so you like late 40s, early 50s. Got it.
I got a couple grays coming in here. It's happening.
Yeah, I'm not quite there, man.
I
put it this way. I'm the year of the dragon, so you should know what that is, Benjamin.
Hey, you're the rat. So look, Jamon Honsu. They got
okay, but I say all that to say this. And I don't care. I look beautiful. I'm 47.
Okay.
And I understand when you say I'm not gonna do X, Y, and Z because just like homie said, I'm too old for this shit.
Yep.
I mean, also just the product is never as good as when you can in a collaboration, especially when someone's like dedicated to one thing. like even like today, right? I did not set up most of the camera stuff, which is funny. Erica did, because she was the one that the mounting all this stuff. That's her. I didn't do any of this. Now I did it for hers, for her podcast like last week, but today I was busy doing something else, getting ready for another meeting, so she got to take care of it. Like that just it allows you to be better at your job.
Tag,
Right.
you're it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you're right though. You know, it was this was the first time I had an AD,
Ooh.
and I always had to do the AD work myself, and I'll tell you that was the biggest pain in the ass.
I hate it so
And
much.
so having an
Over
AD, I say I'll never want to ever make a film again without one. So because that was probably the biggest pain in the ass.
Just messaging people about their schedules makes me upset.
Yep.
The whole process makes me mad.
So
Yeah,
I want to
yeah.
interrupt for a second. I want to really start to talk about your awesome project that you're working
Okay,
on right
great.
now. And
That's
tell us a little
awesome.
bit
Thank
about
you.
it and your passion behind it, how it came to fruition, you know, just the
Okay.
idea itself, and go for it.
Okay, well, how much time you got?
We're gonna be here with
Butcher.
you
All
for
night.
All right, it's called Butcher's Bluff, and yeah, it's definitely a passion project. It was something I've been wanting to do for a long time. The genesis of the project goes way back, probably about 7 years. Was commissioned to write a script for another filmmaker out of San Antonio. I don't even know the dude's name. A chick kind of hit me up and said, "Hey, this guy wants me to write a script. I don't know how to write a script. Will you help me?" It's like, sure. You know, it's like, but I want to be the killer in it. And so she talked to the guy. The guy agreed to let me do it. We wrote the script. Again, chick didn't know how to really write, so I ended up writing the thing kind of based on what they wanted me to write it as. Completed the first version of it, then get told that no, I couldn't be the killer because it'd be a conflict of interest to have the writer act in the film. So I told him to go fuck himself, and I took the script back. So it basically sat on the shelf for a few years. Fast
Wow.
forward. Yeah. Fast forward, you know, we are basically, I just wanted to do a 80s slasher type of film. I had this guy that wanted to be a killer big time. He was a big 500-pound strong man, and would have been a perfect hog man, honestly. That's what I wrote the character for, but then some things happened, and he fell out, and so I had to step into that role, which I wanted to be the killer to begin with, so it all kind of put full circle that, you know.
Yeah.
But the scripts that I originally wrote 7 years ago is not the script that we have now. The only things that really stuck was a few scenes here and there, the characters' names, and the title Butcher's Bluff. Everything else was changed.
Well, okay. In that 7 years, did you grow as a writer?
Oh, I grew tremendously as a writer.
Yep.
The original
So it's a
version,
bit richer?
yeah, the original story was not very good. I had a writing partner who was he's had several wins. He was a runner-up at I think it was called Shriek Fest or something like that. One of the big horror writing competitions out of LA, and we had wrote a Western, believe it or not, together, and it won a Remy Award at the World Fest. So when it came time to write this thing, I said, all right. So we started talking, and basically we had this idea. We were coming up with this, you know, we're going to make it 80s. We're going to do tribute to all the 80s films that we loved, and you know, basically not going to try to be original. You know, we're borrowing from everywhere.
Got it.
And we were writing stuff, and all of a sudden, you know, things just kind of weren't gelling until I said, hey, I got this old script. I like this title, Butcher's Bluff. I want to use it. And I pulled the old script out, and then basically took out all the other crap, added in kind of stuff that we were talking about. And then from then on, it just took off. And so we were able to get the script knocked out pretty quick after that. And so then for about 2 years, I was just networking. I went to horror expos, Comic-Cons. I had this mask. A co-writer made the mask, the Hogman. I made the costume that he wore, and so I would go in costume to these things and hand out flyers and just
Yeah, I saw some of that.
try to get the word out that we're making this film, you know. And I didn't know how I was going to fund it, which is going to come to what we were wanting to talk about. So eventually, after 2 years, decided, okay, let's do an Indiegogo.
Okay.
Our first
we're gonna
Indiegogo.
save the financing part because we definitely want to land there last.
Oh, no. Let's say the very first one I did was a disaster. We raised $300. Absolute disaster. I ended up with after 30 days, I think we had 15 backers, probably, the whole thing.
Okay.
I don't know what the hell happened because I had all these people telling me, oh, this is going to be a great film. I love it. I love the look. I was getting all this attention at Comic-Cons and horror cons, and 15 people backed the project, made $300. So I was like, okay, something's seriously wrong here. I guess no one wants to back this project. So another year passed. And we're kind of like, okay, well, how the hell are we going to fund this thing? And then, you know, things happened.
But you didn't give up. So you
never gave up.
You knew about your story.
Yeah.
So give the audience a little bit of an idea, a synopsis of the storyline.
Yeah, it is basically a urban legend or folk legend in this small town of this elusive creature that lives in the woods called the Hogman. And it's actually rumored to be a boy that was bullied when he was 12 and left to die in a pig pen by the bullies. And when he gets out of the hospital, he came back and killed him and was put in a mental institution. When he's 21, he disappeared, a la Halloween. And so he ends up living in the woods and people start going missing. The time he got out of the woods. So we fast forward to the modern days and we have these film school students that are making their thesis project. And we have the main character is a heavy metal stoner kid that likes horror movies and things. It's like, hey, this will be an awesome project. We can make this documentary about this urban legend out there where my grandparents lived. And he convinces his friends to go out to the lake house where his grandparents owned, and they're going to make this awesome documentary about this urban legend. So they go looking for it and they find it.
And everything else that happens after that. Oh, that sounds
Got it. I like it.
Yeah. So the film school part was something definitely that was added later on. And that kind of came about because I had to give them a reason. I didn't want to just have it be, we're going there to party. You know? I wanted a reason for them to go. So that was something we talked about. Why are they going there?
So wait, did you go to film school?
No.
Okay. So it's a horror story about people who wanted to go to film school.
No, these kids, these people are actually in film school, and this is their thesis project.
Got it. Got it. I think I see the underlying theme of you wanting to kill people who got to go to film school because you didn't go to film school. I worked on a project with some film school students, and it was like, whoa, okay.
You know what?
No hating. You know.
Chill, did you go to film school? Ben, you didn't go to film school.
No, I did not.
Keisha didn't go to film school. I didn't go to film school.
None of us.
Well, Quentin Tarantino did go to film school and said you should use your damn money to make a movie. Save your money, the $50 grand you're going to make on spending on film school, and just go make a movie.
We're not knocking people that go to. We're not knocking people that go to film school, but we're saying that we just had. You can still do it by not going to film school. Is what?
I don't knock it at all. If I had the opportunity, I probably would have went.
Disclaimer: Austin Action Fest has no official position on film schools. So Full Sail or Austin Institute of Art, if you guys would like to donate, to fund in our particular situation, we are not against you. Just want to put that out there.
Oh no! If you're able to go, I say go. I just was not in a position to do so I didn't go.
No, that makes sense. Actually, one of the guys on my team, one of my sound guy, and does a lot of sound and music for us, President Business. He actually did go to Art Institute. So he was ex-military, so he was able to use the GI Bill and actually spend some time at the Art Institute. So yeah,
that's what Matt did. Matt graduated from Texas State and ACC. He's got 2 degrees in film, so television and all that stuff like that. So, so what I don't know, he knows, and so I just kind of rely on him to tell me those things. What does that? What does that mean? So you know. I'm the art part. I don't know. I don't get to tell the technical crap. You know.
Well,
it's just
so I touch on that only because if you have an idea or a passion to tell a story, it's a matter of figuring out, putting all the pieces together, getting the right people sometimes, or just jumping out there. And especially in this climate, with everything that we have out here, this computer, you can do so many things. So you don't have to be a film school grad to be able to tell a story to the world.
One of the reasons my first film took 3 years, I had to learn how to edit. I didn't know how to edit. I didn't have money to hire anybody, so I had to figure it out myself. It's just one of those things. And with YouTube, you can click on YouTube and a 12-year-old will tell you how to do it. If you want to feel stupid, how do I do this on this program? You go on YouTube. There's a little 12-year-old kid. This is very easy.
Dude, here, like, what was it? Indie Mogul and Film Riot. Like Indie Mogul, Film Riot, and Indie Film Hustle. Those were like my 3 go-tos when I first started. I was like, look,
no film school. No film school, man.
No film school as well.
Yep.
I have a question for you. Do you dream? I know we talked the other day for the audience. They weren't on the conversation, but we can go there as well about dreams. But do you dream horror dreams sometimes? When it comes to, I'm just curious about horror stories. Does that come out, and do they scare you when you're dreaming at all? Do you ever do your own stories ever make you nervous at all when you start to think about?
Well, if anybody pays attention to my Facebook, you'll see that I don't sleep a whole lot. It's because I am tormented. I have nightmares all the time. So I've had them my whole life. So yeah, I have very horrifying dreams. And so most of the time I'm inspired by it. Yeah.
Wow.
So would you
took that and turned it into writing stories about it, which is very
most of the time I don't remember them when I wake up. I'll remember bits and pieces, but not enough to piece it together. But I did actually have one dream that I remembered vividly, and I actually did write that into a short. So I remembered every bit of it, and it just wrote itself. I wrote the whole script, 15 pages, not a whole lot. But I wrote it in about probably 2 hours because it just flew out. I remembered all the dialogue. I remembered everything.
Wow.
So that was very weird. I do that with songs. I'm actually on only about 2 hours of sleep right now. I've been working on a lot of music over the last couple of weeks, and I was like in that stage between wake and sleep, and had these lyrics pop into my head, and I had to write it down. And my brother died of a heroin overdose, and so I witnessed him fall apart from heroin, and this lyric was just all about the black tar god of heroin and how that becomes what you are. And that's the title, is Black Tar God. And I just started like writing it down, all the things flowing out of what happens to somebody when they get on that poison. And yeah, it just, I've never thought about writing about that before. Because I mean, I don't do the crap, but it was one of those things. I was inspired. I jumped up and said, if I don't write this down, forget it. I did. So I wrote it down. So yeah, dreams and that middle sleep. Then when you're not halfway awake and halfway asleep, that's usually when I get a lot of my really good ideas. And I do sometimes have to get up and at least scribble down, don't forget this,
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
I get it in
yeah.
flashes too. Like not necessarily in my dreams, but I'll be doing something and it'll trigger. And sometimes I'll see an entire action sequence, or I'll see like a scene from something, and it'll have the words and the cuts and whatever. And I just go write it down and save it. Because if I don't, it'll drive me crazy. And then whenever I get a chance, I flesh it out. So yeah.
Locations are the same way. If I see a location, sometimes like things will start playing out there, and I'll be spaced out in a place, like
Mhm.
seeing things unfold at wherever I'm at, and I'm like, okay, now I have a scene here. You got to write that out. And that happened a few times at Butcher's Bluff, actually, once I saw the location.
Mm.
I was going to ask you about that. So did you have a location and some of the story came from that, or the
No,
story
not in Butcher's Bluff. I had to find them.
you had to find them?
But then once I found some of the locations and I saw what was there and available to me, scenes popped out from there.
Did any of your scenes change on set?
Oh, absolutely.
Because of the locations?
It's still changing. Yeah, absolutely. It has to be a living animal. Your script can't, especially in the indie world. I mean, when I was working with Jeremy London, he was talking about television and how TV scripts are like solid. You can't change anything. There's no room for improv. I mean, he said something about like you couldn't change the word "are not" to "aren't."
Oh,
Or the script supervisor would be, it's the same damn thing, but the script supervisor would be there. I was like, are you kidding me? He's like, yeah, man, you guys, they're harsh. So
That
you know,
reminds me of theater. Like when
Yeah.
you're doing theater and you're on stage, they don't want you to change anything. They want you to read it exactly as it is.
yeah,
That is like rude. But in film,
yeah,
obviously we kind of go all over.
right. And that's why I like improv, and that's kind of the style of directing that I like to do. I mean, even though I'm a writer, I tell the actors, I'm not married to this dialogue. I would much rather you sound natural and real.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
say it the way it's
Yeah.
going to sound out of your mouth than what I
Yeah.
wrote. I don't care about my words being said because I don't have that kind of ego. I don't give a damn. What I want is you to sound real. I care more about the overall film coming across as being believable than the egotistical thing. That's not what I wrote.
that's actually really good. So I was going to ask you, do you feel yourself as more of a like a director who sees, like a director of photography, as in you see the shots, or an actor's director where you are into the performance more than everything else?
Yes. I'm both.
Both-
Yeah,
Some people
because
50-50, yeah.
I've edited the scene in my head before we shoot, and I usually know what I'm going to be using before we even are
Got
doing
it.
the scene. My crew were not too happy with the fact I don't have shot lists. I just tell them what to shoot.
Boo.
I tell them what to shoot. It's like,
Boo.
they're like, you got to shoot this, you got to shoot that, you got to shoot that. Well, it's also because I'm too busy. That's again, it's too many hats. You got to have, I was wearing too many hats. You got to. In hindsight, I wish I had a shot list, but I didn't have one this time around.
Yeah.
And I haven't in any before because we always shot the stuff ourselves. And again, I'm always editing, so
Exactly.
I know what shots I need. So get this shot, get that shot, get this shot.
So get a shot lister, it'll help.
Yeah. So I need to get somebody to tell me, hey, write this down. I'm gonna tell you what to get. You write it down. And that's what I really need. And hopefully next time around, I'll have a little bit more of a budget and then able to get that done. Because there are times where I was like, I wish I would have got that shot. Maybe if it was written down, I would have got it.
Yeah, sometimes you're running and gunning, it's whatever.
Oh, it is. We were chasing the clock a lot during this production. But more about your question. I like to talk to the actors a lot. I want to explain to them what I was thinking when I wrote it. And kind of give them a little bit of a backstory if I have it, of what their motivations were, and stuff like that. I don't like to go like, here's your motivation, but I want to say like, this character grew up in this town, hates it here. It might not even be said anywhere in the script, but I want them to know that they don't like being there. They want to get out, whatever. Just using that as an example. So I'll sometimes throw things like that to them to try to help them develop their character a little bit more. Because for me, again, the performance is very important because, the worst thing that can happen in an indie film is the audio sucking, but the second to me is the bad acting. Of course, I did want to make an 80s throwback, and the acting wasn't always great in 80s films. So even if it wasn't that great, I probably would have got a pass on this one. But I was very picky on who we cast.
Yes.
It's
in
half
the
of the game.
film because I wanted to make sure that those actors didn't need to be spoon fed,
Yes.
you know.
We talked about that. We were looking at your cast lineup. You had a very seasoned cast.
Yes, ma'am.
Which is awesome. Very, very awesome.
Yeah, I was very fortunate. Again, a lot of the it wasn't even hard to get some of the seasoned people, you know. They were like, as soon as I said, hey, you want to do this? Yes. You know, because they saw the Hogman character and just was like, okay, this character looks awesome. So, and then they saw the proof of concept trailer that I made. If y'all want to go into talking about that, we can do that. That was the next step for funding after we failed terribly at our first Indiegogo. It's like, okay, what's next? We got. I guess I didn't have anything to really prove that the project was worth putting their money into. I only had a couple of actors said that they would be in the film, and then I had the costume of the character itself. So after we failed badly, decided, okay, well, I'm going to make a fake trailer. There was a convention in Dallas. I say was because I don't think it's going to be. It wasn't done last year, and it might not even happen this year. It's a Texas Frightmare in Dallas. It's so big that with everything going on, you just can't really do them. So, but anyway, that's a whole other story. There was a thing that they had not really a competition, but they had a opportunity to screen a fake trailer. It was kind of inspired by the Grindhouse movies that Rodriguez and Tarantino did with the fake trailers. Machete was one. And there was a couple other ones they did. I don't think they made any other movies except for Machete. I could be wrong. But anyway, so it was make a fake trailer. So I'm like, okay, well, hell, I want to make this into a feature film, but let's just make the trailer. I'll get it, and maybe I can screen it there at Texas Frightmare, and that'll give me a reason to go and promote, get people to come look at it. And so that's what we did. I decided I wanted to make a fake trailer. So I took scenes from the script and kind of changed them to where they would fit to a trailer, and kind of worked out the pacing of what I like you were saying, I visualized what the trailer was going to look like, and I only shot those scenes. Like if someone says, what do you know about Butcher's Bluff? That's all he said. It wasn't a whole scene that I chopped up. That's all we did. We'd go in there and we'd shoot what was going to be said and what the shot was going to be. I didn't have to do multiple takes or multiple angles because I already knew what the shot was. So in 3 days, we shot that whole trailer, and it ended up getting selected, screened there at Frightmare to a full house, and then got selected into some film festivals. I won a few film festivals as best trailer.
Wow.
And I added that down to the Indiegogo when we were finally did it. And I guess that was what kind of was the catalyst to us being funded. Was then I had something to show.
Got it.
They could see the work and see what it speaks for itself. Like, oh, this actually looks really good. And so,
to hear about any hurdles that you had while you were filming, but it sounds like that was kind of the beginning of the Indiegogo. The first one that you did was one of your hurdles, but you found a workaround for it.
Yeah, we had to figure out like how do I prove that we can make this? I knew we could do it, but I guess getting people to take you serious, because I hadn't really sold anything. I've won probably 30 to 40 film festivals with my zombie films and some other stuff, but
Nice.
film festival wins, I guess, wasn't enough, to get people, okay, that was a zombie film. How are you going to do this? I don't know. So making the fake trailer was a big deal, and it was fun too. So that's something I actually recommend to anyone who's want to get their film made. Make a trailer. Just do like a 2-minute trailer. Make that your proof of concept.
Yeah.
Make a trailer. Make it good and get people's responses. You'll know real quick if people are interested or not. And the day I released that trailer, I had like probably 200 some odd views in like one day. It was pretty cool.
You wanna? Would you like the world to see your Indiegogo trailer?
Sure. Yeah, the fake
Okay.
trailer. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, I can pull it up if somebody wants to share that screen with me. I will
Yeah.
pull it up for us, and we can go from there.
Yeah. It's about 2.5 minutes long.
Okay.
Can you drop the link inside of our chat?
Yeah, I can do that too, but I was gonna go ahead and play it for us.
Oh, I was talking to William, but
Oh, okay, I can do that too.
Okay, cool.
So whoever's the host, Keisha, can you release the Kraken for the share the screen part of it? Let me
Make her a co-host.
no, she just needs to allow me to share the screen.
Yep, there we go.
Thank you. Okay. Let's see if it's going to allow me to do it. It should. Whenever it pops up here. You can see on my whole screen, evidently, it's not going there. I may have to stop sharing and do it again. Let me do it again. Because it should be right there. Yeah, it's not wanting to go there. Don't know why it's not going there right now, because it was just right there. There, can you see it?
I see white now.
Something now, yeah. So white.
You see white. Do you see
It's
the
doing
screen
something.
now?
You're seeing our Indiegogo.
screen.
This is actually only going to have our pitch trailer. This isn't the proof of concept trailer
Okay.
here. This was just something we did from our latest Indiegogo, which we still have. That's Brink Stevens right there, by the way, for Slumber Party Massacre.
So this is not it.
No, this is actual footage from the film that we have now. This is not the fake footage. This is just a little teaser, a 30-second teaser that I made just for our Indiegogo that we have up right now. We have about 7 days left on this one. The proof of concept trailer was shot with a different camera. This is this is a 4K camera with a really nice lenses and stuff like that.
do you want me to go ahead and play this one too?
Yeah, sure. If you want to. This is going to have yeah, go ahead.
It looks good.
It does. We don't have any sound.
Okay.
The sound's not coming through.
Yeah, it's dragging. It's got a big lag.
Oh well, we don't want to do that. We want to show you light. So let's stop. Don't know why the lag is. That's kind of odd.
Well, there's a link I've shared to the Indiegogo and the pitch video that is on Facebook at the Austin Action Fest page that you should be following and liking anyways. So if you want to see it, go ahead and check it out there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, the cool thing about after I played it, I was going to tell you some of the cool things about the fake trailers. Actually had Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre be the narrator in it.
Oh,
yeah,
that's cool.
He's was the main guy talking throughout the trailer. He's actually in the film. We're going to be shooting his scenes in March, and for anyone watching that wants to be in that scene, it is a perk available to be in the scene with Bill Johnson, Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Got it.
Shameless plug. We'll be doing a bar scene with him.
Connected with these people? How did you get connected with like Bill Johnson and Jeremy London and Bill Oberst Jr.? How did you get connected with them?
Well, conventions mostly. Jeremy was different. Jeremy was different. He had a this guy named Sean who was his convention manager or something at the time. And I knew him, was talking to him, and he actually got me connected with Jeremy, and then we worked a deal. Bill Johnson, I met him back in 2009. He was in my first film, John. He was a priest in my first film, John. So my very first movie was not only a feature film, but it had Leatherface in it. Bill lives in Austin. So there was a convention here in Austin that was Fangoria convention. And Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 is one of my favorite horror films. It's a dark comedy horse, whatever. Had crazy Dennis Hopper running around in it, and cowboy hat. This is just, it's a blast. But anyway, I met him, was talking to him at his table. I told him about the film I was working on, what I was about to start shooting. And basically Bill was just like, oh, there he is. He was like, why don't you send me a script? I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, send me a script. I'd like to check it out. So I was like, all right, cool. So I sent him a script, didn't hear from him for like a month. Like, oh, I guess that's not gonna happen. So one day I'm driving in my car, I get a phone call and something told me to answer it. I don't usually answer calls I don't know, that I don't have saved. I answered it and this deep voice is on the other end. Hello,
More of a medium.
this is Bill
I
Johnson.
realize everybody's spam is like really close to their face, and mine's like kind of different.
So
whatever.
Ben, you're still in
Is
there.
it good?
okay.
All right, good.
Okay, there you are. Yeah, so Bill calls me on the phone and says, hey, I just read your script. And he's like, his exact words, I fucking love it. And so he's like, I'd like to be in it. And the rest was history.
That is
And
awesome to have somebody that has that much behind them be like, no, I want to be in your film.
yeah. And he was awesome and helped out a lot, with just, it was just great to work with. And then he actually we did a 48-hour film festival, 40 challenge a couple years later. He actually did that for us as well.
Wow. That's not fair.
Absolutely.
we didn't win or anything. I don't have a much good to say about 48 hours. I'm sorry. It's
man, don't let Aline hear that.
she already knows my opinion on this shit. So yeah. Spend time making a film that has good audio, good lighting, good story, good acting, and then you lose to a piece of shit where you can see the fucking tripod in the back and it has a dumb friendly story about a turtle in a bucket. Sorry. Done. Done.
I remember the year. That was like 2013. I remember that.
Remember that year.
That
was a different year.
I gave a disclaimer on Austin Action Fest. I said, William Instone is going to be raw, so just prepare yourselves. So,
sorry, guys.
Out there. Mr. Instone's views do not necessarily reflect
my opinion. My opinion
I've
only.
never done one.
My opinion only. And I take full pride of that. There was another year that did a horror one, and the film I worked on wasn't that good at all. I mean, it was okay, but but the film that was actually the best film that should have won all the horror awards got disqualified because they said the character had to be seen on screen. And I'm like, are you out of your fucking mind? Like that was a great film. They did really good. And they disqualified them because the character that was supposed to be there was not seen on screen. And they ended up, but the one winner of the film, the character that was supposed to be there was a cell phone, a possessed cell phone, which is not a person either. So I argued.
Was the voice there? Was the person that did the voice there?
Siri or whatever?
They were talking about to the character on the phone, and you could hear the guy talking on the other line. But since you didn't see the character, they disqualified him. But you didn't see a character that was a cell phone. So I didn't like the politics behind that. So I just thought that was, the best films should win. And so then you get that whole, it's not a competition. Well, sorry.
It's a
competition. If you're giving awards out, it's a competition. I don't care what anybody says. So I'm just saying.
4 or 5 of them. They've always been a lot of fun. I've always met a lot of good people, great people. So they've been a lot of fun.
I'm not saying don't do them. I'm just saying I'm not going to do them anymore. That's
I won't be doing.
And I've had
mixed.
I've had mixed experiences. I actually got like a second place to best actor. And I was like a bit character. I was like, how did I do that? I was on screen for like 2 minutes, but apparently they really liked it. I don't know what that was about, but I've had mixed experiences. Yeah. I've had some really, really bad ones and really good ones. But what I will say, because wait,
Well, did I help you on one?
Yeah, that's that horror one. You were out there that day when Robert got sick and you had to work second camera.
Yeah.
We were there till like 7 a.m. working on that shit.
But one of my favorite things about 48-hour film festivals is that, like, I like difficult stuff because I know, like, if something gets difficult, half the
It's
people
hard.
will quit.
Yeah,
And I
it's
like,
hard.
like 12 o'clock that first night when people were freaking exhausted.
Yeah. I think there was like you and me and like one other person that lasted the whole night. Everybody was dying, and then glad we finished the damn thing. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It is a challenge, and for the first 2, maybe even 3 years, even after the whole turtle incident, I did it again, and I did the next one after that is what I did with Bill Johnson, and then I got snuffed again. I'm just kind of like, all right,
Oh my goodness.
okay.
I'm off my meat right there.
That's fine. Maybe I'm over competitive or something. I don't think I have thin skin by any means, because you got haters. I know I got them, and I don't care. Bring them on.
Hey, your haters are your motivators.
That's right. I know people are gonna hate me, so it's okay. I'm hated at my job. I'm hated. It's okay. It's okay. Bring it on.
Well, people like the haterade, man.
That's right. They're drinking it up.
The
I'll take a sip of that haterade right now.
I think in film especially, you have to
Cheers.
have relatively tough strength. Yeah,
You have
relatively
to, man.
tough skin, man,
Yes.
because
You can't please
people-
everybody, man.
here's the thing, like, I can watch a movie and think it's amazing, and someone else can watch it and tell me all the million reasons they think it's terrible. Kind of like me and Prometheus. I think it's a horrible film in the second half. But a lot of people loved it. I hated what I watched. I liked the beginning half. I didn't like the second half. But other people, it's the best movie ever. And I can't convince them otherwise. So,
Prometheus? What are you talking about? Matrix?
No, Prometheus, the movie
Okay.
that's like the alien
Prequel to the Aliens. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. It was a letdown.
Yeah.
Some people love that movie.
Fassbender was cool in it, but other than that,
How do you mess up a movie with Idris Elba in it?
I think they said they had 2 different writers. There's like a different
was-
writing team came in or something, and it kind of like, if you pay attention, you can tell the first half of the movie is different from the second half of the
Oh,
movie.
yes.
And I was telling people, I was like, I feel like I watched 2 different movies, and people were telling me, "No, man, you're just hating," because I didn't even know it was an Aliens prequel. I just thought I was watching some sci-fi movie about where man came from, and it was going to be. And I came out and I was like, I felt like I watched 2 different movies. I liked the first half. I didn't like the second half. Then I found out there was some strife on set. But the point is, I feel that way, but other people love that movie. And so in film, I realized you're going to have haters, man. Like, you just got to roll with that.
Yeah, you got to, man.
Somebody called my business partner a pork chop. They said he looked like a pork chop. What do you do with that?
I'm sure I've been harder than that. I know all about being called pork.
Yes.
He's gotta roll with that,
Haterade
man.
half.
Yeah.
That is funny.
That is. Edwin didn't think it was funny.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think you would think
Now-
that was funny.
they talked about my friend. Oh no.
No.
Those
Right.
trolls, man.
Wanted to-
Internet trolls are brutal.
Yeah, we wanted to get into the financing
Oh my goodness.
of Butcher's Bluff. So
Let's
can
do
you
it.
talk a little bit? I mean, you kind of gone into it a little bit, but maybe some more details about like financing, distribution, stuff like that.
The distribution's a whole different animal that I won't be going into because I am not educated enough into that area to tell you anything that would be would be useful out there. But what I can tell you is our story of what worked for Butcher's Bluff, and I can't necessarily promise that it would work for another project, like for instance a comedy or a melodrama or something like that. Let's just be honest, when you're crowdfunding, that shit's not going to get funded. I'm just being real. An action movie might, and a horror movie might. If you have a following with the comedy, maybe. What you got to do is you have to have something marketable. You have to have people to get excited about what you're doing. And mostly it's the networking. So before you can go into an Indiegogo, like I was saying, I networked for 2 years. So I already had the word out. I had lots of people talking about it already. 2 years. And I had the mask out there. I had this image of this character that people were interested in. So the first thing you got to do if you're going to go into an Indiegogo is you have to realize you have to use your social medias. So before you launch your Indiegogo, you need to have at least, I would say at least a month. If you can give yourself 2 months, even better. You need to start you a Facebook fan group. Okay, start inviting as many people as you possibly can to get in there and then start talking about your film. Now, the reason for that is because the algorithms of Facebook limits how many people can see what you post. Okay, so when you post on your main page, maybe 25, 30 people see it. I have, I think, almost 3,000 fans on my personal page. I said fans, what the hell? Friends on my personal page. Maybe 20 or 30 people see my posts. But when you're in a group, and for a member of that group, every single member will see that you posted in there. So they can choose to go in the group and see and look at what you posted. So that's how you get information out to those people. So they know what's going on. So starting a group is the main thing you got to do. Okay, you start talking about your project. Then you announce we're launching on this day. Okay, you want to launch on a Friday, probably because it's payday. To make sure that you're launching on a payday, and don't do it on the first when rent's due. People got to pay their rent. Don't do it on rent week.
Yeah, you're gonna lose people right there.
Yeah. So launch on a Friday, probably the second Friday of the month, usually after rent. And make sure you're telling people. You got to contact, because it's your first day. It's going to make all the difference. You have to get as many backers as you can on day one, because after that it falls off. So physically telling people about it, emailing every single friend you have. You can't be afraid to hear someone tell you no. No is like anything with actors, you're getting rejected. Filmmakers, you're getting rejected. You just tell them this is what's going on and appreciate your help, even if it's $1. Anything you can give us on that first day, it's going to help. And you'll see it starts trending and people just start donating. And again, like I was saying, if you have a project that's marketable and people are excited about it, if you have a trailer that shows that this is going to be cool, and you're selling it with your trailer, people are going to get behind you and support you.
So what made you feel that your project was marketable? So where did you?
Too many people tell me they love the project. They love the character.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I mean, honestly, I never really expected to be successful in the second Indiegogo, because we failed so bad the first time. Was very apprehensive about doing it again, because I had to refund everybody's money. I didn't take their money. Everybody who donated the first time, I refunded their money. I wasn't going to take it. So I refunded everybody's money, and
that's honorable. That's honorable. A lot of people do that. They hold on to it and they do whatever.
No, I refunded it. And so the guy who runs Cult Classic Convention in Bastrop, his name is Roy Rose. He owns the gas station, Texas Chainsaw Massacre gas station in Bastrop, where they filmed the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He basically gave me the confidence to do it by saying that no one cares who's in your movie. No one's going to care about how much budget you had. What they're going to care about is that character. He's like, that is a cool looking character. So just make it. And that's like, okay, I think you're right. I'm going to do it. And so, shout out to Roy, man. He gave me the guts to go do it. And so we took the chance. And,
Yeah. I think a lot of people need that.
Yeah.
Whatever it's that, or that's that person that puts something into their ear that pushes. You already had the confidence, that probably, but you need that little extra.
Yeah. I mean, again, after failing, your confidence is kind of like, okay,
Yeah.
you know, am I going to try this? I know I got something cool, but you know,
Exactly.
do other people think that? And so, yeah, you know, we launched it, and we started off with a $10,000 goal, and I made that in probably 3 hours. You know, by the end of the first day, we're at $15,000.
That's
Awesome.
And by the end of the 30 days, we hit $40,000.
Nice.
And so that's not a lot of money on the grand scale of things, especially if the tax man gets theirs and
Oh yeah.
and things like that. You know, I did have a social media consultant and an Indiegogo consultant, which took a percentage as well. He taught me how to do Indiegogo for the most part. And there are some other things that I'm not sharing because I did promise him I wouldn't tell all the things that he does.
Okay.
And I'm staying to my word. I've shared a few things, but what things I have shared is common sense shit. It's nothing that, like, you know, anybody couldn't figure out. I think a lot of people, if you look around at the Indiegogos now, they've all kind of figured out that you can get those 100 people to donate $1 on the first day, that you're going to probably be relatively successful. That's because if you look at every Indiegogo nowadays, that's all, and they're pushing it. You'll all hear them say the same thing, because you go to the people that are successful, that have successful campaigns, and you just emulate what they're doing. Are you able to share the person that you think is a reputable social media or Indiegogo consultant, or do you want to? Abel Berry. His movie is called Strix. He made the movie Blood Sombrero.
Oh, I was in that movie.
Midnight Devils.
No, I was in Blood Sombrero.
Yeah.
We went up to Dallas to help him shoot that part of it.
Yeah. He's a filmmaker, and he knows his shit when it comes to crowdfunding. So
Got it.
if you listen to him, do what he says. If he takes your project on, you just do what he says, you'll make money.
Hey, on your next movie, William, because I know you're going to have more stuff coming out.
Oh, yeah.
But on your next one, do you think you'll try to crowdfund again? Would you go that route again?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, just because it's obviously, why not? You know, raise what you can, and then try to find outside investors to fill in the blanks of what you need. Now, I ran out of money, you know, relatively quick with this, because it's expensive feeding people. Because here's, I guess we could go into another hurdle. Was we got this? I launched October 4th of 2019, October 4th. We did 30 days, so we out there towards in November, such, and it takes some time before Indiegogo releases your money. Right before they're about to release our money, we get shut down. The whole economy shut down. All of a sudden, COVID hits us right in the ass. So I'm like, oh, okay. I had already booked Brick Stevens, you know, here. I've had all these actors already had their days set to come, you know, so I had to cancel. I had an Airbnb booked, which is another thing for people. You know, you'd be surprised at how many Airbnb owners will let you film in there. If you need a house that looks good, contact Airbnbs. Tell them be honest with them. Tell them what you're doing. Have production insurance, which Airbnb has their insurance anyway. But if you have production insurance as well, they're a lot more likely to let you use it. And we did that twice here. But anyway, I had the Airbnb booked, and we had to cancel. We had to cancel flight. We had to cancel the Airbnb and everything, and wait for to open up again. And because of COVID, you know, there was a lot of extra expenses, like, you know, feeding people was different, you know, than we could just get catering, and, you know, you had to have hand sanitizers around, and just, you know, again, we worked with a small crew anyway, so it was not that much different from us to have a small crew. To us, it was a big crew. Like, well, it's a big crew, but actually on the grand scheme of things, it's still very small. So yeah, the money will disappear really fast. So you have to be smart with what you're spending on, and just try to go as cheaply as you possibly can with where you can, but also don't skimp out on people. People, especially people who are working their ass off for 12 hours for you.
Yep.
If you're feeding them, make sure you have plenty of snacks and drinks and things, and that adds up. On main cast, I had 7 people in the main cast, and a lot of scenes that are actually all 7 of them in the scenes together at the same time. Plus, you have your 7 or 8 crew members and makeup artists and things like that. So I'm feeding 25 people.
Yeah.
Wow.
And and we're on location at a lot of these places. So I'm having to cater in food, and sometimes $300 sometimes to feed everybody, because you have to get individual things for people. You can't have the big buffet things. People had to just order. So that was a big expense. So hopefully next year.
Due to COVID, you had to do that? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, because you don't want to have, even though we were around each other all the time, you still didn't want to have everybody scooping up their foods and just throwing it on there, and stuff. I didn't really care, but I out of respect for everyone else, I don't usually eat on set, which is why I don't care. I hardly ever sit down, and I hardly ever eat.
I understand.
It's because you just don't have time. I got too much stuff going on. So, anyway, it was a very big expense, that a chunk that we weren't expecting.
Yeah.
Got it. Nobody thinks about food.
Yeah. So think about food, because you got to keep people happy with food. That's it. That you can make or break the spirits.
Craft services, man. I always say craft services.
And I get tired of pizza, to be honest with you. So
I did that only a few times.
It's like, come on.
Yeah.
Man.
If people put Costco or Sam's in their back pocket, sometimes if they're going to be, the independent natured and maybe cook their own food or get somebody to handle that.
Oh yeah.
Or make it. Or
we had to do that at the end, towards the end, when I was running out of money. It's the crock pot. My mom and the crock pot were making stuff, and actually the crew was like, "Hey, this is good stuff."
I think it's normally better, to be honest with you. Somebody's mom would just cook.
Yeah.
Negotiate with somebody that you love, and you never know what they'll do for you. It depends on how big your set is. So yeah. But you got to feed people, and then also stick to the hours sometimes, unless you really have a full team. So
here's the thing: is we only did a few times that we ever even hit 12s. I didn't want to have anybody work 12s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think there was one day we did a 14. And then I had some camera crew was like, this is normal. They're just like, we're used to working 15, 16. So, I don't like pushing people that much, because it does towards the end, you just you're burned out, and, your performances, everybody's performances are just spent. You start, messing up and letting takes go through that really wasn't good. Oh, it's good enough. And it really wasn't.
Yeah.
In hindsight,
Ridley Scott says something about, if you don't get what you're trying to get within the first 3 to 5 takes, I let it go after that, because you're not gonna. He says, you're not gonna get any better. After that, for some reason.
I don't know if I agree with that one.
But
I think some people, sometimes, especially if you haven't ever worked with somebody and you come on and you haven't done a lot of rehearsal, which tends to sometimes happens with independent films. There's not a lot of rehearsal. And so sometimes you're just getting warmed up, and that is almost like your table read in a sense. And so you're getting used to how somebody moves and whatever that blocking, anyway.
Yeah, if any feels, I agree.
Go past that. That's the only thing that I did. Usually those guys have done their table reads. They've done their rehearsals. They've had so much. They've got their stand-ins, and it's coming in, and we're
Yeah. Well, here's something I like to do for that. Go ahead.
But one thing I want to contrast that by Daniel, Fincher, David Fincher.
David
Fincher.
Fincher. He's known for a crap ton of takes.
Yeah,
that's
too many.
You can be too many and too, and being too anal with them.
Oh crap! He wants things perfect.
Yeah,
and
I've seen actors not be down with that, bro. I've been on sets with it, like it had a bigger name guy, and it was like lower name, like not named filmmakers, and they were doing too many takes, and you could see that dude is like, "Yo, what are we doing right now?"
Yeah. What were you gonna
One of
say,
the
William?
we're gonna, I was saying with if you don't have the rehearsal time, we did get a table read. We did it through Skype, like we're doing right now. Thankfully, we were able to get that in, but we didn't really get rehearsals. If someone's got a lot of monologue, or a really buttload of dialogue, don't film them first. Get reactions, get over the shoulders, get people with less dialogue, have them deliver the lines back to the camera, because he's gonna be better by the time you flip the camera around.
Exactly.
He's already done 9 takes of saying the same thing. So now you're warmed up. Okay, so you flip it around, boom, there he is.
That's
So
a good idea.
that's one of the
Advice. Thank you.
that's one of the techniques I like to use.
I also like to have sometimes record the rehearsals, because
Mhm.
sometimes those rehearsals blow away
Yep.
anything that was
Yep,
already
we
done.
would hit record sometimes. We didn't have a
Yes.
slate, so it's kind of
Yeah.
like we're like just roll on this. We'd be
Just
quiet,
roll.
and the actors don't know that we're
Yeah.
recording them, and
Yeah.
we're recording it.
Mm.
And so some of those times they're nailing those things before
Yeah.
because the nerves aren't there. They just like, wherever,
Yeah.
they're not recording. Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. So I did have a question about the financing side.
Sure.
I think the last time we chatted, you mentioned that there was somebody who kind of came through. There was an individual who really sold some things up for you. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I just lucked out. I mean, I've never met the man before. I don't know if he wants his name out, so I won't drop his name.
No.
I'll have to actually ask him in the future if that's okay to say something. But he probably doesn't want people bombarding him, so I'll keep his name anonymous at this time. Yeah, I never met him. He just donated to the film and bought a producer's credit. And so I'm just like, okay, cool. And started talking. And it's like, what else do you need?
Wow.
And so
let me be clear, you don't know this person.
No, not from Texas.
Not from Texas. They don't know you from any. Was he a fan of your stuff previous, or was this?
Had never heard of me before. Saw the trailer, liked the project, believed in the project. Said basically that he thought that this was going to be something. He just had a feeling. It wasn't the smartest move to put money into such a high risk endeavor as an independent film, but something told him to do it, so he did.
Wow.
And so yeah, I got a little bit more than what we raised after Indiegogo was over. I got a little bit more after that. As a lifeline because of the food thing running us a little high. And one thing about this project is I did have, I guess we're going to credit 2 different people as our DPs because of scheduling. And so I had to pay 2 different DPs, 2 different rates. Plus we had 2 cameras going at all times. So at any given point, I probably had about 6 people work the cameras throughout the production that we had.
You had a legit, you had like a legit camera team. So you had, cam op, second cam assistant.
No, just throughout. Sometimes those camera DPs couldn't be able to make it. So throughout, we'd have 6 people that actually work cameras throughout the project. Like, nope, they're not going to make it this day. So they're on a different project. Okay, this guy's coming over.
Okay, I got you.
So yeah.
I thought you meant like the classic cam op, assistant cam, second assistant.
No. Our second AD ran the B camera most of the time, or Matt would run it.
Been there, done that.
Yeah. So if we didn't have a second cam, either one of them would jump on the camera and be the second camera. And we had the same cameras with the same lenses. One would be on the 50 to 100. The other one would be on the 18 to 35.
Sigma?
Sigma Arts.
Dude, that thing is so pretty. That's what I'm on right now. I'm on the 1835 Sigma.
Yeah. The Sigma Art is a great lens. And the Blackmagic 4K cinema cameras. So
got it.
Yeah, they looked really good. I can't say I'm unhappy with the Blackmagics, but I mean, we had to learn. We had never worked with them before, I learned real fast that they are not good in low light. You have to light the hell out of them to get them to look good, because it was just like, damn.
Yeah.
I know you mentioned that you were editing. Are you editing everything from like beginning to end? Are you just doing like a basic cut and you're sending it somewhere else? How are you handling the editing?
I do all of it.
You're doing everything.
I
The
do
color,
yeah.
Does it?
No.
correcting,
I will have a colorist. I'm not a
Okay.
colorist. I
Okay.
will have someone do the sound mix.
Okay.
But I'll have it synced. You know, I'll have the cuts, you know, cut up the way it needs to be cut. There's a few graphic things that got to be put in there. Little After Effects that have to be put into a few spots. You know, we do have a few little small glitches here and there. But other than that, there's nothing that's not easily fixed. So yeah, I mean, I'm the only one that can edit it, to tell you the truth, because I'm the only one who probably have the patience to sit there and go through what we went through. And there were some times, as we said, we got rushed, we didn't use a slate. So I'm about to go through and find the audio tracks. And, you know, we're just like, we gotta go.
Yeah.
You know, our sound guy was also our lighting guy. So he was running 2 jobs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Then there's co-directors, camera operator. So it's just like,
Okay.
I'm directing, I'm acting, I'm doing all this other crap. I'm doing wardrobe, and
You're an independent filmmaker.
That's
filmmaker
right there.
we were all doing multiple jobs.
Yeah.
I mean,
So we call compressed crew.
yeah. I mean, it's thing about filmmaking is you can't do it alone. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, it's just, you really
Oh
can't.
no.
I mean, you can set a camera up. Yeah, I guess you can make a film by yourself,
You could.
Yeah.
but it's not going to be as good, and it's going to
Never.
be a headache. So I would say you really can't, and it's really important that you have a crew that you can work with.
Yes.
Because, you know, you're with those people for a long time. Like, we started at the end of July, and we shot all the way up until the first weekend of November. Basically, we're on hiatus right now because the grass, trees, and stuff have changed. We have to wait for the grass and the trees to come back.
Didn't think about
Get
that.
our wood.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was some of the shots we were having. It was supposed to be during the same day, and we have orange leaves now. Don't show the trees. You know? So I just had to get a insert shot of one that we didn't get of an exterior of the house, one of the Airbnbs. I contacted the owner to go get that shot. I went out there and all the grass is dead. So it doesn't match up with it. So I'm like, okay. So luckily he was really cool about everything. He said, yeah, just come back. I said, can I come back? And I got the shot for a placeholder in the edit. Yeah, I might have to go back when the grass is green, because it's dead. And those are things, again.
Yeah.
I made a schedule, a very ambitious schedule, very ambitious schedule of 21 shoot days, and we ended up at about 30 some odd. We still not done yet. So
That's still pretty good.
No,
yeah.
that is really good. How many more days do you think you?
Oh,
need?
probably at least 7 more, 8 more.
Okay.
That's-
A lot of them are smaller days, or they're smaller shoots at this point.
A lot of pickup stuff.
Yeah, mostly pick up things, a few full scenes, but even those full scenes are not that long.
Okay.
The Bill Johnson scene in the bar, it's the biggest scene we have to do now.
Okay.
And yeah, so, but most of the stuff that, I mean, all the real big important things are shot at this point. If I absolutely had to, I could cut the film together right now, and it'd be complete. It'd be complete, but I wouldn't want to. It's missing those few ingredients, and especially insert shots of that. Yeah, there were some things like we can get that shot later. We don't need. That's another thing. When you're have a small crew and you're running out of time, you have to just think of things like that. Like, do I have to get that exterior shot right now? I can come back and get it later. I have these actors here. I have to wrap this up. And a lot of times we were chasing daylight, especially as we got towards the end of October and it was getting dark a lot quicker. And we weren't used to that because we had shot through the summer and like, oh, we got daylight to 8 o'clock. Well, all of a sudden 6 o'clock's rolling around like the sun's setting. Shit, we got to get this shot. And so, like you were saying before with those early takes, kind of didn't have any choice on some of the one particular scene. Yeah, by the time we got to flipping the camera around and stuff, the sun was setting. We had to use basically the shots that we had where the sun was still up. You didn't have a choice. So they were just a lot of two shots, kind of medium two shots, and just they're acting, which is cool. I don't like to do a lot of cuts if you don't need to, and it's unnecessary cuts, and it worked. I was upset at first, like, okay, I'm about to reshoot this. Damn. But then as I went along editing it, I found that shot. I'm like, wait a minute, this works just fine. I don't have to.
Awesome.
Thank God, I don't have to reshoot that.
And thank God your actors were in it. You know what I mean? They were focused on
they're a very dedicated, awesome group of people, man. I was really lucky to get the talent that I got, and the crew that I had to work with. I mean, I have nothing but good things to say about everyone. They really busted their ass for me, and I hope I can repay them someday.
Wow.
That is awesome, man. Well, one, I want to say shout out to Bijan. Let's make sure I say this right. Faramazi.
Yeah, I've worked with him.
Yeah, he was watching. Skeeter Jenkins in the building once again. He's a classic. He's a veteran of our podcast. And then Tristan Riggs, also out there. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, man.
Feel free to drop any questions.
Yeah.
In the chat. And let us know. We'll try to get Instone to give us some answers and some insights.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What got you pointed toward horror?
Well, just a screwed up kid, man. Okay. I guess I can go back to being about 8 years old, and a babysitter took me to see A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Hello.
Yeah, it scared the hell out of me, but I loved it.
I was gonna say it scared me.
It was scary. I'd never seen anything like that. I was terrified, but it was also at the same time really cool. It's like Freddy's cool, and I'm a big fan of Jason. So when I started watching the Friday the 13th movies, and I just loved them,
Okay.
Plus, always been a rocker. So when I was a kid, I loved Kiss. I liked the Motley Crue, and they were the big hair and all the theatrics and stuff like that. So I've always kind of liked stuff like that, and heavy metal and horror kind of go hand in hand. So
Got it.
that's pretty much
I see that.
what I give.
I see that.
What I give my credibility to that too. As a filmmaker, horror is marketable.
Yes.
I don't just make horror films.
Yes.
I have a lot of scripts from comedy to dramas to all this shit. I've actually got an action type of film that I want to make, and I've actually was working on finishing up the script on that. But they're not as marketable as horror. You can make a horror for a lower budget, and you can actually sell it and make some money. If you even not at least make your money back and get distribution and be a credible filmmaker at that point, because the most loyal fans are horror fans. Horror fans are supportive and loyal.
Industry. You gotta know the industry.
So what's the end game with the film, the path for the strategic path?
Oh yeah, distribution, man. Here's the thing: is right now, the market is starving. There's because of COVID. Maybe some people say it was a bad thing, but for us guys, it's actually a great thing that it was shut down. Hollywood's churning out crap most of the time anyway. Sorry, sorry for my SAG people. I hate that you're out of work.
Oh yeah, that's rough for them.
I know a few people that are hurting right now, and I'm sorry, but for us little guys, this is a good opportunity for us because we can make our movie, and there's a chance that we're going to actually be able to sell it for more than what we probably would have gotten last year before all this crap happened. Because we need content, and so that's the plan. I do think we do have a very marketable character, and the story. I don't give too much away. I told you kind of a gist of what it's about. There's a lot more to it than what I just said. yeah, it's got all the nods to those 80s horror classics, but it's got some original things to it. I mean, not every story is always being told. Nothing
Got
is
it.
original under the sky anymore. So, but there's enough of an original plot to it to where, people, even if they don't like horror films, would probably enjoy the film. I also have some comedy in there. I crack a joke here and there. That's
Good.
part of my personality. So, I got the stoner characters that say some pretty funny lines, and then I got some redneck characters that are pretty hilarious. So,
The rednecks are who?
yeah, the rednecks that you just talking, they don't even have to actually say things that are supposed to be funny. They just come across as funny because that's just
Yep.
Do you have, so typically the black person gets killed first a lot of times? Do you have a black person in there and all that gets killed first? Just because
No
that's
spoils. Christopher Wimbush is in it.
Oh boy.
Just have to ask.
Christopher Wimbush is in everything, man.
Wimbush is a redneck.
He
He,
kind of is though. He kinda is.
he put the chewing tobacco in his mouth and everything.
That's funny.
And of course he's like, wait a minute, I'm not dying today. I'm like, you don't know if you're going to die or not. He goes, well, I'll expect to die.
Oh my goodness.
No.
man.
It's hilarious to me.
Oh yeah,
he's funny.
He's hilarious to work with, and
He's good people, great energy.
yeah. So we've been on a few different projects together. So when the opportunity came to bring him in, I definitely brought him in. So it's like, yeah, he got a good energy, and that's what everyone was saying. Like, man, he's so fun to work with.
Yeah, he was on at least 2 different movies I shot. The second one and the most recent one I shot in Houston. He was in that one too. We had a good time, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of laughing.
We've all worked together.
Yeah, I mean that's a cool thing about Austin, man, and this is a small community. We most of us have all been on at least a set or 2 together.
Yeah.
If you're working the scene long enough, you're gonna meet most of the players that are going around. I'll admit, again, like you said, I'm controversial in a way. I'll say it. I don't care. There is an elitist group of filmmakers in Austin. Very elitist, artsy fartsy group of filmmakers. No names are being said, but I want nothing to do with them. So
Got it.
But everyone I've worked with has always been cool.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if you're in Austin and you're making films and it's a bad experience on set, I mean, like I think you're doing it wrong. You know what I mean? Like it should be fun. Like it should be fun. And I tell people this all the time. Like we're business owners, right? We're entertainment entrepreneurs, film entrepreneurs, as Ferrari calls it. And so I didn't get in the business to work with people I don't like.
Right.
Like if I get to choose my coworkers, they're going to be people I want to hang out with. Like I will hang out with Keisha, Danielle, and Chill. We're friends, like outside of work. If they were dirtbags, we would not all be here. Like there are better things to do with our time.
Yep.
Right.
We're not doing this for the money, obviously, right now. So we're hanging out for 12 hours a day. You're not getting paid.
Yeah, it's drink. Yeah.
So of course you gotta work with people you get along with, and when you come in as an actor, and I'm talking about our makeup artists. I did have one negative experience. Again, I won't say names, as a makeup artist, not as a It was pretty bad. I had to do a lot of work. I'll just say it was a zombie film. That's all I'll say.
Okay.
And yeah, I had to, and it wasn't my own, but it was a zombie film, and I had to make a lot of zombies, and it was just a bad experience, very bad. And so and a lot of people had that same experience. So I'm kind of like, oh shit. Ben's laughing because he's like, I think I know what he's talking about. Yeah. People, again, the Austin community is small, so when you get a reputation, they're gonna know who the fuck you are. So
Yeah, that's why I
You
try to
know?
be. I try to be positive. I try to have a good
Yeah.
time on every set. It's like
Treat everybody nice, man. Thank you
just a
goes a
movie.
long way. Thank you goes a really long way.
Totally agree.
I've
Yeah.
been on at
You
least
know?
one set where I'll never forget. I came on a set and someone was. It was actually it was a zombie movie, and
Hmm.
the one of the actresses didn't know I came to bring equipment. Like they needed to borrow my camera gear, and so I
Mhm.
showed up, the Sigma lens and something else. So I helped out as a PA, and the actress wanted me to do something, and I was like, hey, that's like an expensive item, not my department. I don't really want to mess with that. And she got like furious with me over that.
Mhm.
And I just ignored her because it was my friend's set, and I was, you know what, this was somebody else's set. I would have just bounced, but it was my friend's set, so I just walked away from this woman while she lost her mind. But she didn't know. I was like, man, I could just leave and take my lenses, and then y'all could have no lenses to shoot this film with.
Right.
But she didn't know. Like I think a lot of times when people get the attitudes or whatever, like you don't ever know in Austin who you're talking to, because I've been on background as a background on like Revolution,
Mhm.
but I'm there scouting for people to use in my project. But
Yep.
I'm just the background that day, and so you got to be real careful with how you treat people. You don't know who they are today or who they're going to
Yep.
be.
That's where I met Wimbush on the set of Alita. So
Hmm.
see, we were on Alita, and that's where I met him.
That
So-
is a life lesson to learn, though. I think no matter where you
Yeah.
go, you
That's exactly
never
right.
know who you may be standing behind in line, or who may be. You just never know. You know,
True.
I think in life, that's a good life lesson to learn. Watch what you say. Watch how you treat people.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All business lessons are life lessons. If
Yep.
it doesn't apply to
agree.
life, it's not probably a really good business lesson.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just the thing like we're getting at. I guess the whole moral of this is you just treat your people right.
Yeah.
Treat people right. Period.
That's
yeah.
really the big thing. Is just it's just common decency. And I know that sometimes I try to make excuses for people, give them the benefit of the doubt that are stressed out.
Right.
This is a very hard job. Making a film is not easy. And you want to give them a pass, but if it happens over and over again, it kind of comes to a point like, okay, well, maybe I was wrong,
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it is. And I mean, you're a business owner. You're a business owner working on a series of like small businesses. And I think a lot of us don't think about that side either. Like Butcher's Bluff is one intellectual piece of intellectual property for you.
Yep.
One
Yep.
business you'll be selling that product,
right.
for X number of years, and then you're going to go work on another business and product. And these people
Absolutely.
you're working with are working in your business, and we just have to. I think the better we understand those things, and the better we're able to look at it from the business side, in addition to the artistic side, the more longevity we'll have in
Yeah.
what we're trying to do.
I think a lot of people forget that they have a brand, when it comes to business, and you have a value behind your brand. What are your values, And so being able, and one of those values is to respect everybody that you come in contact with, and they respect you. So obviously there's a point to where you're not going to take crap from people if they're disrespecting you, but there's also a level of respect that we
Not
need to,
Instone. He does Wing Chun as well. No, he's
Yeah.
not taking no crap.
I don't think that.
Amongst other things.
Hey,
Yeah.
I want to do an action film, man. I'm actually really
Go.
looking forward to it. I'm writing one right now. It's kind of like Death Wish meets The Wrestler.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. It's
Keep us
very
posted, man.
Yeah,
Let me
yeah.
know.
It's really cool. I came up with the original idea after my brother died. It was drug overdose, and it's basically about an addict, but I had to make the addict be somebody that's not someone you want to screw with, and so I made him an ex-professional wrestler.
Got it.
He ends up becoming a vigilante but the whole story behind it, there's a lot more to it. But anyway, that's the script. I'm almost finished. I mean, I am done with it, but I'm rewriting it. You have to rewrite. The original script was written back in 2012 was the original script, and I'm still writing it now. So
That's
it's
cool.
been evolving into more.
What I
You know
really,
what?
what I really want to see is a talky romance drama from William Instone. That's the movie I
A talkie
really want.
romance drama? Is that what you said?
Romance drama. I want
Okay.
Danielle Steele. That's what I want from William Instone.
Well, it's not happening, man. That's not my game. I do have a romance. I do have a romance story that's been brewing in here, but it's on the dark side. Yeah. So it's. I actually posted the synopsis on my Facebook the other day in a little fake art that I came up with. It was a story I came up with years ago, and it's also evolved.
Got it.
Yeah, they all end up being dark and twisted. That's just how I roll, you know. Even my comedies are messed up and dark. It's just,
Well, I got an idea, actually, something I'm working on. We got to chat offline at some point in time. But
yeah.
Oh, he doesn't know about the world.
no, I don't think he knows about that at all. Me
Okay.
and Will didn't talk about that. There's a couple different things I got cooking because
All right.
and Will, tell me if you feel this way, but I know we all do. Like the most exciting day for me on with any kind of project is payday. And it's not when I get paid, it's when I pay everybody else. Because in my mind, what I get excited about as a business person is that I'm producing something that is paying people and allowing them to feed their families. Like that is like when I'm able to do that, I know I'm gonna get blessed in some way. As long as I'm doing that and helping these people, I'm gonna win some kind of way. So that's like the most exciting time for me. Do you have that same kind of like feeling when you're making a film and you went out and you raised the funds, right? You went to all these comic conventions, you did all this work, and then you get actual Kickstarters and money in, and you're like cutting checks to your people who are making this thing that will hopefully impact other people when they see it. Do you feel that kind of like the charge like that as well?
Well, I think I will when I'm able to actually to pay everyone. There's still the core crew that are waiting to get paid when we sell it. We're kind of like there's a few people agreed to come on board with that agreement.
That's cool. That's actually really awesome.
I did pay my camera crews. I paid my effects people. You know, I paid those things that but all of them are getting paid. And yes, it's going to feel good to give them that for their work and say thank you. Thank you for it.
Let me ask you in code, because no one else will catch this except for you, maybe. Is pretty long hair swole one of the people who's getting is deferred, or
yes? Yes and no.
They don't know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know you. I was curious. I don't know if Chill and Danielle. I was curious if they pick it up. No, because I've seen a lot in the marketing you've been doing for it, man. I mean, it's really awesome to hear. And a lot of what you talked about doing is like, it's the part of not only business, but specifically film that people don't talk about. Networking is like work. It is networking.
Yes.
So going to those events, dressing up in a costume, paying those entry fees, getting a booth or not, walking around trying to get the right people to get attention, to get like, that's all like hard work, man, that most of us aren't willing to do.
Ben, there's a difference now. Paying the same amount of money to go to online film festivals. What'd you do at AFM? You need to start doing the business side on that side too.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking specifically, he's going to just like the conventions just to walk around in a costume.
Yeah,
like that.
It's networking.
Yeah,
that is a really direct maneuver, which like when I heard, I was like, well done, sir. Well done. Because most of us don't think to even try. Not to mention, people talk about you have to niche down, which you have honed in a niche, because when I think zombies or horror or whatever, you're literally like the first person I think of in Austin.
Cool.
So like
Thank you. That's kind of what I wanted.
That's your niche.
Exactly. So you did
Yeah.
that. I mean, and then in addition to niching down, like you're just very, very proactive in what you got going on, man. So that's like awesome. Like I'm saying this because I want people who are paying attention at home to understand, like, this is one of the ways I was taught to be as effective as possible in my market. We did pure action. And that, like, it was like if people weren't getting roundhouse kicked in the face, I don't even know why my phone is ringing right now. But I did that on purpose so that I could get really good and really well known for that. Now we take all kinds of stuff. But originally, I wasn't even trying to do anything that had anything to do with not action. So, I mean, it's been very, very effective for you to really get really, really streamlined and honed in and really, really good at one specific thing. Get your name out there strong, and now you can branch off into action and all these other things. So do you think that that's an advisable way for people to go about?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because I mean, you're also learning. Work at what you're good at. Get good at what you're good at, and then move on to something else, and take a stab at something else. I'll put it like this, so you can relate to it. Okay. Say your left leg sucked at kicking, right?
Mhm.
Do you overtrain your right leg? Or should you train your left leg to be better? Now, there's two ways of thought. Maybe I'm going to train my right leg to be better because I'm really good with that. I'm strong with that. I'm going to score with it. But what happens if you roll that ankle or something, or you have stubbed a toe, and then you have to switch leads, and then what happens? You don't have your left leg because you can't do anything with it.
Gotcha. I think part of what you said that's really good is that you have to have a plan too. You have to, if you are going to do it different, you got to know what you're doing.
Because think of it like this, and from the filmmaking perspective. Yeah, okay, I make horror, but what if someone come up to me and says, "Hey, I have $1 million budget. I want you to make a romantic comedy." Am I gonna say no? I'm going to tell them I'm probably not the best person to this job.
Are you sure?
But yeah. Hey,
you're like.
Have you seen what I've done?
Now, another option could be, you know what? Yes, I will make that film for you. And then you immediately get on the phone and start calling those people that you know.
That's that too.
Keep them on your team. That's the other thing too.
That's also a thing. Yeah.
I'm gonna take that money and I'll put my name gladly right in the front of that. Look at this romantic comedy I made for Lifetime or whatever it is. Hallmark or whatever.
Pride and Prejudice.
When I get rich, I'm going to earmark like $75,000 to give directly to William Instone to make a romantic comedy. And I'm going to be very specific. There can be no freaking warlocks. I don't want to see any freaking hogmen and no pentagrams, no zombies, nothing. Straight Danielle Steele shining romance. That's what you
mean. The warlock can't just question his darkness and fall in love with the pretty girl and want to leave his.
No,
you have one chop off the heads.
No.
I'm up for the challenge.
Hey man, look, I mean, honestly, Keisha, one of the movies I worked on was a drama. I mean, there was action in it. Somebody got slapped in the face, right? So, I mean, technically it counted. Technically, it still counts. There was action. It was not an action movie, but there was action. But it was not an action film. But that was still after we had done a couple things after that. So it was a friend of a friend. Actually, no. She was originally a friend of a friend, but we were pretty close. Me and Jess were pretty close by the time that had happened. So that made a little more sense. But yeah, what you're doing has been very, very effective. I think a lot of people don't go that route. And so they spread themselves really thin.
Right.
And it's really just there isn't a strategy to the maneuver. It's just like, I'm going to take whatever gig comes my way. And it's like, well, then you don't stand out. And so now I don't know, man, when it's sci-fi, I got to call this guy, or when it's like super, historical drama, this is the guy that I call for that. It's just, well, there's all these random filmmakers, and I can't tell you why one is better for this job than the other one. So
Right. Yeah, I definitely agree that you should get your niche and get really good at it.
Mhm.
It's like you said, if you're known for something, yeah, it does open up a door for you for possibilities. So, I mean, for years I was the zombie guy, you know. That's why I was doing makeup artists for other people's work because they all wanted my zombies on there. You know, I was like, okay, cool, I'll do
make
it.
some good zombies, man. I mean,
So yeah, you know, I had really good artists among the dead, and I learned a lot from them. And you know, then I said, well, I could do these myself. Again, that was one of the things with Among the Dead. I ran out of money, and so towards the end of that film, I had to do all the makeup because I couldn't afford to pay anyone.
oh yeah.
So yeah, but you can't tell which ones I made and which ones the other makeup artist made because I already learned and spent a lot of time researching and figuring out how to make zombies. So
let me ask you with this one, if everything goes exactly as you want it to go, let's just say all the stars align, it's flawless, right? What happens with Butcher's Bluff? Is it goes on to be a box office smash, picked up by, I don't know who's still going to be around by the time this happens.
Who knows?
Who's going to be in existence at that time? I don't know what theater is going to even be around in Texas to show that. Like what's the perfect scenario for you?
Well, I have a sequel already lined up. So I'd like to be able to sell it, get it out there, you know, get a following, and then have that sequel come pretty quick. The Friday the 13th sequels were knocked out pretty fast, close to themselves. Keep it going while it's still hot. Don't let it die out. You know, don't wait 5 or 6 years to make a sequel. I'd want to do it within like 2 yeers. You know, shoot the sequel. Get it out there and make the Hogman. I want him to be the new icon of Texas. I want him to be the modern day Leatherface. That's what I want.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that sounds like more theatrical in the United States, picked up by like distributed by a top. Okay, cool.
It doesn't have to be a top tier. I mean, you know,
someone who's got
The thing is that with the cool character, you know, you can just with the horror audience alone can make it a cult classic, and then I'd be happy with that. You know, just having that respect and that, you know, notoriety as that character was good for me. You know, like I said, I just want to make enough to pay my crew, pay everybody off what they need to be paid for working for me, and everything else is like, hey, whatever. If I make enough to make another movie, great. You know, like we were saying, I mean, you know, most times when someone takes a deferred payment, it means you're not getting paid, but that's not the situation here. They're getting paid. So
I'm laughing right now because it took me about 1.5 years to figure that out for real. And I was like for real, like, cause I remember so many gigs, people, yeah, man, we're going to do this. We're going to sell this thing for like $1 million. And then it's like, in the beginning, I was like, oh yeah, it's going to be awesome. And then 2 years in, I was like, no, you're not. You're not selling it. You're not selling it for me. I'm never getting these 24 hours back, and I'm willing to make this donation to you because I like you. That's what.
Yeah.
But what William is saying is that that's not going to be. He doesn't want his situation. He wants to be able to.
That's not going to be your situation.
Oh no, that's not gonna, no. Because Texas is going to rally around.
Yeah.
We're here to be your cheerleaders no matter what.
Thank you, man. I mean, you know, one way or another, one good thing about having you know, I mean, everything's, the numbers I have to give out to these people are not unrealistic numbers. They've agreed to let me finish the film because, again, these are good people they've put in months of their life into this film and want to see it finished. So we're going to finish it first, and then when all that's done, then checks are getting signed, people are getting paid, and everybody's going to be happy. Because again, awesome, I want my people happy regardless. You know, that no matter what. Yeah. I mean, because you know, I feel like what you're saying earlier. If you get a good group that you work well with, you want to work with them again. because they already know how to work with you, and you're not having to learn how to work with anybody. So why the hell would I hire a whole new crew when I already know I can work with these people? So why would I screw anybody over? So I don't get anybody who does that. Anybody who's like, oh, just get a new crew every time they make a film. That doesn't make any damn sense to me.
It sounds stressful.
Yeah, because our first day of shooting, I hadn't worked with any of these people. I mean, a few. I mean, other than Matt, I hadn't worked with anyone else. So it was a learn how to work together, you know. And by the second week, we were flying. It was all good. And
that's awesome.
We all know how to work with each other now. So why would I want to try to get anyone, a whole new crew? That doesn't make any sense, like I said. So
let me ask you this. This is really stupid, but do you have a director's chair? Like a little chair that says like Instone on it or anything like that?
No. So I don't sit down most of the time.
Like that. You can tell.
What? Wow. Why you gotta be an insult to have a chair?
You gotta sit down.
Really?
Sometimes it's kind of fun.
Exactly.
I've seen people. I've seen those. Yeah, I couldn't do that, man.
And then
like you said.
I'm gonna say because Keisha's just crapping on my dreams right now. Thanks, Keisha. I appreciate that. For the record, I've been waiting for like a year to use my director's chair that's got violence conductor on the back in my company colors. Okay.
I think I'm gonna go to Big Lots. I'm gonna buy me one of those tall chairs that sit real high that had a little thing over it, and I'm gonna write director. I don't care. I just it has a cup holder. Those don't usually have cup holders either, so
true.
I need to have something with a cup holder.
Look,
what did you say about your chair now? Where did you say about your chair? I'm sorry.
My chair?
No, William. What did you?
Oh yeah. He wasn't through with his chair. So.
Oh, I was just saying, it would be nice to be able to sit down and have a chair. So maybe one day when I'm able to be on a project where I'm allowed to sit down and watch a monitor, then maybe I would get one.
My man, let me tell you.
I would just say asshole on it. It wouldn't say.
Check this out. I've never watched a monitor ever because normally I'm running a camera, even on my stuff. This last project I did with James Drake and Lexter and Ty McLeod and who else was in that? I think it was it. It was an incredibly small crew. James Larson was out there, Enrico. And it was like 3-4 man crew, actually, and Darren as well. And so we went out there and I brung my chair. And for one take, I got to put my chair down and sit in it while James Drake shot a dialogue scene for like one take. It was glorious. I'm just going to put it out there.
I'll tell you, the first time I got to watch a monitor was pretty awesome because I haven't been able to do that for a while. We for the first couple of weeks we had monitors, but the cables kept getting fucked up. So it's just like those cables are expensive. So we just thought, you know what? We're not bringing the monitors out anymore. It's just like, we'll just watch playbacks. So.
Well, as we
have to do it all.
Wrapping everything up, William, we want to be able to give you the last words to say, but does anybody have any other questions to ask him?
No, but I do want
about some horror crap.
No, I do want to highlight what I've gotten so far from William. Just a little highlight so far.
Yes.
I got make a trailer. You will fail. So what? You ain't getting funded. Start a fan group in order to beat, there's ways to beat the algorithm. Launch on payday. Okay. Not first of the month because that's rent.
Right.
Network. Get an AD.
Yes.
I second that so hard. Get into your scene. So whatever your scene is, whatever your niche is, go to those conventions, be in those groups, whatever.
That's extremely important. I mean, we wouldn't have the success that we had if I would have went out there and did that. That's really important. So get out there and talk about it.
Put those reps in.
Fake it till you make it.
Yeah, use Airbnb for shooting locations. I've heard this a couple of times actually, and meet a rando rich dude. Boom. There it is. That's
Yeah, yeah.
so,
I mean,
That sounds
it's
so
pretty
good.
pretty basic. I mean, I'm a basic guy, you know.
but to be
So,
honest
yeah.
about that, it wasn't you just met a random rich dude. You did a lot of work and a lot of prep work so that by the time this guy saw you, and probably maybe he did a little research, maybe not, but your trailer and the work you had done at that point, even your pitch video looks good. Like all that, those repetitions paid off when that person finally saw your project. So, I mean, a lot of us are
Yeah.
looking for the whale, but you got to be, you got to prep the harpoon, fam, before you get to the well. I'm just saying, make sure
Yep.
the boat's tight. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Get your balance right.
exactly.
You prepared to say yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, any final words of wisdom? Anything you want to impart to the masses?
I mean, I think I pretty much spilled all the beans as far as wisdom. You know, I'm not the wisest. I'm not the wisest cat in the fucking tree. I will do some shout outs if you don't mind.
Go
Some
for it.
people that they need to get acknowledged. For one, my co-writer was Renfield Rasputin. You can look him up. We're the ones that kind of came up with this whole working together for coming up with all the details and everything. So we wrote the first version, maybe first 3 versions of the script, and then I kind of took the rings in and did all the changes as we started shooting. So I'll give him a shout out, Matt Riffley a shout out. Been making films with him for a while.
Oh, Matt.
So you know, he's been a big part of the success of getting it done. You know, out there in the field. You know, he's got the experience to do multiple hat wearing as well.
Yeah.
And so those 2 guys are basically the trilogy of how my things have worked. If I didn't have them 2 dudes involved, this wouldn't probably come to fruition. I tend to be the face of the project, and I guess I am the creator, so it is in the end my baby and my passion project. But like I said, give credit where credit's due. Without others people, without the crew, without the cast, I'm nothing but some asshole with an idea, So my words of wisdom to your filmmakers: be humble. You're nobody special. It's like Robert Rodriguez is saying, you want to be a filmmaker, you are a filmmaker, just go make your movie.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and again, don't take yourself so serious. Go out, have fun. If you have $300, make a $300 movie. But make it and finish it. Because as we said, we're going full circle again. Too many people start a project and don't finish it. Don't be that guy.
Something you did say about crowdfunding was make sure you keep your amount something that you can reach, something that's attainable.
Yeah. You want to, the reason that you start your funding low is because you want to reach your goal.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be a project that doesn't make their goal. You want to be a winner. So everybody wants to be a part of a project that's successful. So a lot of people will get the mentality of, if I only ask for $10,000, but I need $20,000 or $30,000, I'm not going to get it because I'm asking for 10 now. People want to be part of the winning team. They say, oh, this guy's already making this money. There's obviously there's something to this. I'm going to donate. So you put your $10,000 down. You make that first goal. Then you go into your group and say, hey, let's make our next goal. Let's do 15. See if we can make 15. Yeah, guys are awesome. You hit 15. Okay, let's get to 20. You just keep adding, and a lot of people will donate multiple times because they all feel like they're part of something, and they are.
That's awesome.
Again, you're nothing without fans, so that's why I don't get celebrities that think too much of themselves. They're just an asshole that talks in front of a camera. Without the fans, they're nobody. So the people that support the film, all the members of the Butcher's Bluff, fan page, or the people that have supported us and that are constantly sharing stuff and making comments, they're the winners, man. It's because of them I'm able to do what I'm doing. And you can don't ever forget that without the people that want to watch your film, It's nothing. It's just something you'll sit and watch on your own. And you can look about how awesome you are. Like, oh, I looked really good there. I had a great line. I was brilliant in that cut. My edit is so good. But if you don't have someone to watch it, what good is that? It's crushed your own ego.
So where can people find you? Find more information about you.
I don't know if I want to tell people that now. They might be like, I want to go kill this guy.
No, I mean, this is.
No, that
this
was
is
great.
awesome.
No, that was you were authentic just there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is that everything I've told you has been true. I don't candy coat things. I just tell it how it is, and it's gotten me in trouble with a lot of things. I was blacklisted from some sites that didn't really want to be associated with me because of my fact that I don't pull punches. I just tell it how it is. So, but you can find me on Facebook, William R. Instone on Facebook, or the official Butcher's Bluff fan page, or Butcher's Bluff movie on Facebook. We're also Butcher's Bluff on Twitter. So you pretty much type that name in, you can find me anywhere. I'm easily obtainable. Available for makeup work, available for acting. If you need me to write something for you, I'm available for commissions. So for the right people, my price of being free is pretty hard to beat. So you can't beat free.
Yeah.
I believe in that, in karma points. People helped me to get where I'm at. So
dude.
So I'll give back. If I can do it, I will.
Exactly.
So if you need help with something, if you're a filmmaker watching this, you want advice, hit me up. I'll answer it. Ask me whatever you want. If you need me to look at something, if it's like you don't have a 100-page script, I really don't have time to read 100-page scripts, but you have a short or something, you want me to read it, I'll read it. I'll give you my honest opinion. So,
very nice.
And you got a question about how to put crew together or something, just ask. I mean, I have a guy that's in LA that writes me and asks me a lot of filmmaking questions, and I always answer him. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
A lot of
that's
people
great.
are reachable. You just have to ask.
Yeah,
So right.
that's also goes back to what you asked about how I got the talent that I got in here. Just ask. All anybody can ever do is say no.
Hmm?
Yeah.
And
So,
that
Tyler.
I mean, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt you if someone's telling you no. It's part of life. We all get told no.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the problems with participation trophies. They never learn how to say no. They don't know how to fail.
Yeah, exactly.
We have to fail to know. So when we win, we appreciate it.
Mm.
So you're asking for wisdom, so I'm going deep right now. Man.
Yeah, he's
Deep, let's
pulling me.
go.
This is the Hogman casting the pearls before people. So it's like reversed.
Just ask, man. If you want somebody and you think that person is going to be great for your film, if you have the budget to pay for it, you have a good enough story, there's no reason to not contact them. And with IMDb Pro, you can get in contact with anybody.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You're right about that.
You can
I'm
get in touch
trying
with
to find
anybody's
a way.
management.
I'm trying to find a way to get a hold of Taylor Lautner. That's my dream casting. I got a project for Taylor. If you're listening, Taylor, I got you, fam.
That's John Carter, right?
Actually, I don't know.
See the actor that played John Carter?
No. Taylor Lautner is Twilight.
Twilight. He's the wolf.
Okay.
The werewolf.
I've never watched those, so I don't know who they are.
Teen Wolf, by the way. But, I mean, I'm not going to say that I was a humongous fan of all of those. There was a few sequences of people getting beat up and bit by wolves that I liked. I did like those parts. But I got an idea. I think he's the guy for it. So we'll see if he's down eventually. Exactly. That's the whole deal. Right? The worst case scenario is it's a default of no. All I can do is by not asking, it's a no.
Yeah, I mean it's no if you don't ask. So
I want to get Dana White, UFC founder guy. That's what I want him for a project, and it's for funding a project. So I want him to be a partner. So if anybody knows Dana White,
since we're throwing out our wish list right now,
it's called Twitter. You tag him on Twitter, and you know what? They look at that. So
I'll hit him up then. I'm gonna do it.
Keisha, who do you got on your? Who's on your wish
So,
list? Keisha?
Well, I want Denzel too, so I
I
want
have,
to.
I have
Took mine.
people that I would love to work with: Megan Good, Lorenz Tate, and Ava DuVernay. So
Interesting.
any of those people,
Weird.
any of those
Okay.
people, like if I had the opportunity to work with them.
Lorenz Tate, man. Okay, I got you.
Yeah,
I
I
did not
know,
see
I'm
Megan
reaching
Good
high.
coming.
I'm reaching high.
I like it. Chill. Who's on your list right now?
Idris Elba, Chandra Rhimes,
Yeah.
Denzel.
Got it.
That
I
was,
will say, as far as females are concerned, Gina Carano.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
keep saying Gina.
We've
Gina
had this
I know
Carano.
you
conversation.
guys had talked the other day.
Yeah,
We've
she's
had
up.
this conversation.
She's on my list too.
Bro, she's awesome. I love it. She's a freaking warrior, bro. She
Mhm.
looks like she looks like she can hurt you, and I love that.
She got even bigger than her crush days, American Gladiator.
I forgot about that.
I
But-
didn't.
But that, I mean, look, anybody got any other questions? Anybody in the chat? No one. Anybody got any questions for Mr. Instone? Anybody or anything? We're closing on out.
All right. Well, please, yeah, thanks for having me, guys. And man, anyone watching, man, just check us out on butchersbluff.com. Butchers Bluff, official Butcher Bluff fan page on Facebook. We update that daily.
Yeah.
Just keep an eye out. Hopefully, it'll be out next year. So
Yeah, 7 days remaining. What's the date today? 23rd.
yeah.
7 days remaining on the Indiegogo. Go check
some-
that out.
Some
It's
cool perks up there. So
Yeah, it's like
definitely.
$2,600, I think, remaining on that joint.
Yeah.
This would be a great gift to your horror fan spouse or significant other or child. Just putting it out there, just giving you some ideas here.
There's opportunities for your child to be a mental patient actor in the film. So
Yes, give the gift of horror. Boom.
Gift.
Good
Okay.
tidings to you.
On that note, guys, we are here with the Austin Action Fest and the talented director, producer, multi-hyphenate, polymath, William Instone, filmmaker from Texas. Thank you guys for joining us today. Thank you, William, for coming on the show and being with us today. And you guys have a good night. Merry Christmas and all that.
Peace.
Rest
Peace
to you
and
guys too.
soul.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, William.
Good.